I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. We used to this. I ain't tryna die young, I'm tryna die rich. For my neighborhood heroes on the island. Better watch your mouth, cause you could get killed for some stupid shit. I don't know what's one no moment, I can't even trust my bitch. I refuse to love a bitch. My lifestyle is ludicrous. Bench truck, we doing shit. Young niggas doing shit. The only thing I love is me, myself, and I.
What's going on, y'all? We back another episode of Apt.1D Podcast. It's your host, King Kelly. And today, we doing a little special episode. This episode will be a little different. Stories behind the wall. And the guest today, I got my boy, Melvin Williams. What's going on, my boy?
What's good with you, boy?
How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm good, man. You know, thank you for having me here, man.
Definitely.
I think we're going to reveal some good things, man. We're going to reveal some real interesting things.
Yeah, basically, this episode is basically talking some stories. We gonna chop it up and sit down with some dudes that did some time, some heavy time. You know, it's stories behind the walls. We gonna talk about some stories you've been through, you've seen. You know, and this is not to promote the jail life.
Right.
This is to show the youngins jail is not the route to go. You listen to these stories. Some of them might seem funnier, but it's not what you want to go through. Right. This is time taken away from reality, from your family, from the kids. So this is not what you want to do. You listen to these stories and you learn. You understand? This is not what we want to promote. We're not promoting going to jail. We promoting staying out of jail. But yeah, we got my boy Melvin Williams. Before we get into it, let them know where you from.
Right. So again, like you said, my real name, right? Melvin is my middle name. My full government name is Sheree, spelled S-H-E-R-A-Y.
Get that
middle
right.
Name Melvin. Last name Williams. I was born and raised in Harlem, east side of Harlem, El Barrio, 115th Street. First, 2nd Avenue.
East side of Harlem.
Yes, the east side of Harlem. I'm the youngest out of 5 on my mom's side. I have my older brother, Dave, then the middle brother, Joe, then the younger brother out above me is Rock, and then my sister, Nikki.
Shout out to the Williams family.
Yeah, definitely. Then I had Mama Mo, my mom's, and my pop Sam. Basically, pretty much I was born and raised, like I said, here in Harlem, Jefferson Projects, 2225, First Avenue is the exact location. Apartment 6C, exact location.
Right.
So, you know, man, I come up in a very, and I'm gonna keep it, 110%. I come up in a very dysfunctional family, what we know and understand. So what dysfunction is today, we probably wasn't able to identify with that back then.
Right.
But, nope. Grew up in a dysfunctional family, dysfunctional household. And when I say dysfunction, it's not to a point to whereas there was some form of lack of malnutrition, lack of feeding, lack of
all that was
shelter. Everything was provided at the highest point. But when I say dysfunction, I speak about the things that were going on in my environment. That kind of like opened my eyes to a lot of things. And the reason why I speak about this is because it kind of leads up into the time that I did behind the walls.
Right.
And how I come to that point.
Right.
Again, I'm the baby out of 5. Moms was in the game. Pretty much, man, like demoed the east side, man. And again, her name was Big Mo, but she was only like 5'2". Know what I'm saying? She was only like 5'2",
Big
man.
Mo is what they
know
called
what I'm saying?
her.
They called her Big Mo, man, but she was only about 5'2", man. Know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know. My mom's actually born in Long Island, Nassau County. Know what I'm saying?
She came out here to the east
Yeah,
side.
yeah, came to the east side, man, and this is where she made her way, man.
Looking to get your health right, go check out Alcaceutical Health. Get your sea moss, Irish moss, black seed, all natural teas, immune system boosters, and more. Everything going on in this world right now is only right we focus on our health and at the same time support black-owned business. Top of the line sea moss straight from Honduras, top of the line black seed, you name it. Make sure y'all check them out, www.alcaceuticalhealth.com. Get your health right. Visit right now, use code Apt.1D, get 15% off that cleansing package they got going on. Get that body cleaned out and back up running. Use code Apt.1D and get 15% off. Tell them Apartment 1D sent you. Peace.
So the transition kind of happened after my brother was killed. Well, my brother was killed in '88.
R.I.P. Big Joe.
You know what I'm saying? And I kind of was went to the best high schools, man. I was in performing arts. I performed in plays. I was top of my class academically, and then my brother was killed in '88. Now my brother Joe, which is like the direct link to the Covenant, you know what I'm saying? Like, we share the same birthday. So once that happened to Joe, it was kind of like I kind of assumed obliqueness to a point to whereas it was kind of like shifting from side to side. I was able to kind of keep the like equilibrium together, the balance together, going through the bullshit. And then in 91, my pops was killed behind the same bullshit and violence, right? And it's kind of repetitive today, but my pops was killed in 91 April on 115th by the rent office.
In the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Exactly one block over from where my brother was killed. In 88. So from there, once my pop was killed, it was kind of like all bets resolved.
Now I'm diving in. That was your mindset.
This is it, man. And being that this shit is so real and uncut, is like I blame my brothers in them.
Right.
For many years, I blame my brother in them for the death of my father, because I felt if the situation with my brother was handled, then
it wouldn't have led to Pops.
It wouldn't have led to Pops. However, I wasn't able to understand the true dynamics. I was on go time. I was on revenge time. That was my mindset. I didn't really understand.
That's tough.
That there was other dynamics that was like kind of like taking place in between the bungers, but I blamed them. And again, baby of 5. We have our fathers. We have different fathers. So my father was taken away, and as a result of that, I believed at that moment that it was they didn't handle their business from when the situation happened with my brother. So I blamed them. Once that happened, I kind of it was kind of like fuck school, fuck everything. It was strictly revenge. I guess that's when the path started to kind of lean into criminality.
Right.
It was exactly what it was. It was criminality.
12,
13, I was arrested for my first attempt murder on robbery.
Attempt murder and robbery?
Attempt murder on robbery. This case took place on an attempt. So they had a spot called Caprice Weed Spot. And one night coming back, and this is why I need to pay attention to because this story is kind of like crazy because everything happened from a certain liquor. So the reason why I kind of point out the liquor part is because a lot of brothers out here, they drinking and they get that energy when they drunk.
Right.
Or whenever they doing what they doing. So me, at that time, I think I was about 12 or 13. It was a house party downtown, Washington Projects. We were on our way back, coming from Washington Projects down 2nd Avenue.
It's in East Harlem, y'all.
Yep, this is East Harlem. Come down 2nd Avenue and decided to stop at Caprice, which is the weed spot. And going Caprice, and it's like, yo, let me get a dime of this, a dime of that. And before I knew it, like, the guns were out. Like, the people I was with, the guns were out. And it was like, shit, okay, this is robbery. Cool. Me being the smallest person out of the bunch, once the guns came out and the robbery was kind of like in motion, the guy behind the counter blew to the back. It was like, all right, Mel, you're the only little guy. You have to crawl in this shit. You have to unlock the door. So it was kind of like we like ripped the front where the candy display was at, and I climbed through. Now, when I climbed through, there's another immediate door probably within the next 3 to 6, probably like the 3 to 6 feet. There's another door that's closed, and this is the door where the guy ran.
Right.
So I don't know what he's doing behind there. But I get in behind the counter, and before I open the door, I just started like, start unloading and shit and grabbing shit and stashing shit because I knew once these guys got in here, which were much older than I was, I probably wouldn't have got anything. So I started stashing way before I opened the door. I had the army fatigue pants on with the tie-up strings at the bottom, so it was easy like to dump shit in and don't worry about it falling. So I kind of did that. Then I opened the door. No, I didn't open the door. They told me, yo, check on dude. So I began to inch towards the door. It's crazy. But then
where dude ran
to. Where dude ran through.
You started going towards there.
Towards that door. And then I stopped myself. I said,
you ain't got no weapon or nothing.
That's when I said I needed a weapon. I realized I'm not going to go back here.
Right.
I need a weapon. So individual I was with gives me the gun. So when I get to the door, it's kind of like, in my head, I'm like some real nigga about to kick the door and like some real cops and robbers shit that I done seen some shit. So that's the mode I'm in. Right? I winds up kicking the door. Boom. Gun like trained like I was some fucking type of 10-year veteran.
That's your camera there.
Right? Like I was some 10-year veteran or some shit. And when I turned to the right, the dude was right there. And he was begging me not to shoot. So I'm like, where's the fucking work? Where's the stash? Now they're banging on the door out front, trying to get me to let them in. But I'm trying to do the shit on my own.
Yeah.
He wouldn't tell me where the drugs was at and where the weed was at and where the money was at. So I wound up shooting him in his ass. I shot him like in his thigh. He kind of reveals where everything was at. Again, I got the army fatigues on. So I saw stashing. But they're still out there banging. Yo, open the fucking door. Boom, boom. So, after I did what I did, I ran and opened the door and let him in. Out of that, there were 3 of us. I was the only one that got caught. I was the only one that I didn't get caught that day, but they came and got me like a month later, and I got caught. And that was my first introduction into Spofford.
So now after that, you get caught. You went to Spofford.
I went to Spofford. So I'm the youngest of the bunch. I'm in Spofford. Now I done heard 1,000 stories about Spofford, how crazy it was. And now this is like 92, 93.
And Spofford is right in the Bronx, adjoining the
Spofford,
BX?
Spofford was in the Bronx on Spofford Ave. It was, juvenile detention center for kids. And it was kind of like, in hindsight, it was like fucking camp. But for a person first going through it for the very first time and hearing the stories that I heard, it was fucking frightening. But here I am. I'm like, okay, I know the way I have to get respect. This shit is like, I done seen some movies and shit. So I know how you have to go about and get respect.
Pass me that water real quick.
And so I go in Spofford and I'm placed on the purple side. There were two sides. There were purple side and the green side. Purple side was more of that was like Smurf Village. They had like this dorm called Smurf Village with the very youngest of the youngest. But over there also was like the female dorm. So on the green side, there was the older guys. And at that time, which was, it was so crazy because you had a lot of young dudes getting 9 lives.
At a young age.
At that time, where law libraries weren't prevalent, legal assistance wasn't available to juveniles at that time. So you had a lot of people that kids that was copping out 9 to life, man. Like they were literally giving kids 9 to life. Babyface Nelson, Booby, Pearl, all them kids got 9 lives, and that was the max that they can actually give you at that time. 9 to life is the maximum that they can give a child.
So
but
what they gave you?
At that time, they gave me, I was facing 5 years for this. And what's so crazy is I was blessed to only do 2 years. So I was sent up to Harlem Valley. I went to Harlem Valley. I went to Gosha. I went to Brookdale. And these spots was out of control.
What was the age bracket in this
At that
process?
time, the age bracket was like 14, 15, 16. That was the age bracket at that time. I went through that. But I was pulled back down on a program. So I was allowed to do an interview back then on 2020, which is, I did an interview back then on 2020. And the interview was to kind of highlight the judge that were giving kids opportunities opposed to sending them to jail. He was putting them in programs. He was doing a few things for the kids that were more of an opportunity for.
Yeah, continue.
It was alternative to incarceration, basically. So I was in part 111. I was in building 111 at that time. The judge, I cannot recall completely his name, but it can be Googled. 2020 was doing a special on this judge, and again, the things he was doing for the community and children, and not sending them to jail and sending them to alternatives outside of jail. So I was able to do that, and as a result of that, I was put in a program, so I came home to that program. I'm pretty sure you can definitely pull up that interview on 2020. It has to be archived. So after that, I came home. And this was like 92, 93. I was home 94, 95. Is when I kind of like caught my dealt first bid. The dealt first bid. Although that I was being like I was in and out of the system at a young age. When I caught the case, the Spofford case, I was sent to Rikers Island.
And, during your Spofford case?
Yes.
Oh, you went to Rikers Island on the Spofford case. Oh, okay.
During the Spofford case, I was sent to Rikers Island. But it wasn't a direct result of the case. So there was a big situation that happened in Spofford. We kind of like said, fuck it. We it's locked down. We kind of rioted. And as a result of that, my classification was raised. And a few of us was moved from Spofford to Rikers Island. But we were put in PC because we were underage. So at that time, I believe it was Mod 9. And this was like 93, 94. It was a big riot in Spofford at that time. Google that shit.
What spot was this at?
This was in Spofford. 93, 94.
Oh, okay, right in the Bronx.
Right in the Bronx. Adolescents. It was a big riot where us adolescents went against staff, and as a result of that, our classification was boosted up. There were pending charges against us, then he moved us to Rikers Island as youthful. So all of us were under 16 at that time. Right. We were shipped to Mod 9, which was PC at that time, and they put us in PC because we were underage. That was my first introduction into Rikers Island.
And how much time you spent there at that time?
That time it probably was sent before they sent me back to Spofford. Anywhere like 90 days.
Oh, okay.
They sent me back to Spofford. However, by that time I done mustered some whole new strength, that I was on Rikers Island, and I felt that I was now I'm saying amongst the big dogs, and now here I am going back to the fucking pup cage, and that's how I kind of like approached it. I came home from that. I completed the program. I was home for like a year and a half before I really got kind of like ingrained in the street life. But before then, I was already like stealing shit from my brothers and all types of, you know what I'm saying, taking shit, money and
So now you back.
Shit.
So now you home.
Now I'm
after
home.
the Spofford shit.
Right, I'm home, and this is probably like 94, 95, which probably was one of my biggest years, 2 years, 94, 95. Yeah. And that's when I pretty much like got introduced deeply into the that lifestyle.
In the streets.
In the streets. I was home for probably like 2 years before I caught the attempt murder.
Now 2 years later, you catch another attempt.
2 years later, I catch another attempt. This attempt happened on 109th and 2nd Avenue. Guy hits me off the bike. I had just had a motorcycle accident. I was fresh out the hospital. But I was on a pedal bike. I was unable to pedal completely, but I would like kick the fucking pedal back, go. Kick the pedal back, go. And that's how I was moving. At that time, I was cutting hair in a barbershop on 119th and 2nd Avenue. On my way to work, I had my clippers in one hand, and I was riding a bike. As I'm going south to north, up 2nd Avenue, guy tries to pull out, doesn't see me coming, hits me off the bike. I get them to try to get out the car. They want to get out the car. I get ballistic. I get crazy. From across the street, here comes some guy. I don't know who he was. But in my head at that time, he was like, who the fuck is this guy? He's trying to be a good Samaritan. So he's like, yo, shorty, what the fuck you doing? I know them.
Right.
So at
but
that
you don't
time,
know him, no.
I don't know him.
Right.
So at that time, I had it raised in my mouth. I spit out the gym star. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who you know. Tell them to get out the car. He refused and snuffed me. So, mind you, I'm fresh out the hospital, cast on my leg from the motorcycle accident. Guy stuffs me. He doesn't put me down.
Right.
I kind of like stumble. I grabs him and I pushes him off of me. I jump on a bike and then I go get the gun. I come back, and when I come back, obviously whoever this guy was spoke to someone else and who informed him who I was, the brother of.
Right.
So when I'm like riding up on him, he jumps up.
He's still out there when you.
He's sitting on the beach chair.
Okay, when you come
on the
back.
corner on the night. Yeah, like nothing fucking like. There was no smoke coming from him.
Right.
And he already had that conversation with someone who told him, yo, listen, that's Rock, little brother, boom. However, I wasn't coming back with my brother.
Right.
Because my brother was, he was more like of the talker type. He would want to talk that shit out. And at that point, in my head, there was no talking.
Shit.
Yeah, there was no talking. So, when I get back, he sees me coming, but I have the 38 on my side. I'm holding it on my side where he can. I have one arm or one hand on the handlebars, and I'm riding, and I have the hammer on the side. He doesn't see the hammer. So he jumps up. He's like, yo, my bad, I didn't know. But by the time he can finish saying that, I already done cleared 5 into him. Broad day, like 3 o'clock on 110, 109th, 3rd Avenue. School's getting out. I didn't give a fuck. I clears 5 on him. Jumps on a bike. Now, mind you, I told you I couldn't really pedal all the way around. So I was kicking and pedal. Didn't see the police. Were like a block away. They turn on the sirens. They start chasing me. One leg. Boom, boom, boom. I float through the project. I get to second half. I run in the first building. And I was able to get away. You know, some great fortune allowed me in.
Yeah.
Second half projects, when I get in there, and I say blessing and thank you to that DJ.
And you still got the joint on you?
I got the cast on my leg, half cast on my leg, 3 pins sticking out my toes.
I remember that. You had the joint on you still though?
Yeah, the hammer's still with me.
Oh, okay.
Hammer's still with me. God bless his dad. At that time, Rodell was with me. Rodell came with me when that shit took place. So when I cleared on the Rodell was with me. God bless his dad.
Yeah.
I get away, and I'm safely fucking secured an apartment. And like I said, thank you to that DJ.
Right.
That so I finally kind of like make it across town. And at that time, I'm on 80, I go on 80th, 89th. At that time, that's where my son's mother was living. Our grandmother on that side. So I knew I had to get from the east side, I had to go to the west side and clear it out. So I did that. I laid low for about 3 days. Mm-hmm. And I was only coming out at the nighttime, little 2, 3 in the morning. Somehow this fucking night of October 26th, October 24th, should I say. I decided I'd come out about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting in front of 330 on 115th, and the bikers come through. So I'm like, what the fuck are the bikers doing out here this late at night? So it's me, my brother Rock, a few other people sitting on the bench. Bikers come up, yo, y'all gotta move the bikes. This, that, and the third, I'm on the pedal bike. So everybody start going, moving the bikes and this, that, and the third. So I attempt to get up and move my bike. And they grabbed me and said, you don't go nowhere. You want it for an attempt murder, so. All right, cool. My brother Rock goes crazy. Let him go, boom, boom. That was the 26th. This was 1996. The case was a 95 case, 1996. No, 1996, yes. I get arrested. They take me through. My bail is $200,000 at this time. I asked the judge, like, yo, listen, I don't work for John Gotti. I don't have this kind of fucking money. There's no way in the world I'm gonna kick up
And there
$200,000.
wasn't no bond or nothing.
There was no bond,
Yeah,
right?
man.
So, no, there was a bond. Matter of fact, there were a bond in '96. There was a bond at that time.
Not much. Sometimes
bail
they
bond.
don't do the bond joint.
No, so the thing was, I didn't have the bond though. I had collateral, put something up, this, that, and the third. I wind up going to trial and blowing. Now they could have gave me anywhere between a flat 5.
I mean,
to
you
a
blowing
flat
trial,
15.
homie pointed you out.
Oh, everybody told.
Oh man.
Everybody fucking told.
Oh, everybody told.
Everybody told.
Oh man.
The 2 people that were in the car told, although they didn't speak no fucking English, they were able to like tell. And the dude that went thus far, he got up on the stand and he recanted his testimony. He got up there and said it wasn't me, this, that, and the third. But by that time, it was too late. They went along with it, and I blew trial to 15 years. Now,
So they gave you 15.
15 years. They could have gave me anywhere between a flat 5 and a flat 15. 15 was the max, 5 was the minimum. First time up north as an adolescent. As an adult.
Hold on, real quick. We're just blowing trial and being sentenced to 15 years. What went through your mind?
Oh, so when I blew trial, right, and they came back with the guilty verdict, the first thing I heard was my mom scream. Right? Mom screamed. I grabbed the water jug and I threw it at the jurors. Threw the water jug at the jurors. They handcuffed me. I was already mitten. I was already red ID mitten. It didn't matter.
Right.
They handcuffed me, dragged me out that shit. That's when I first blew. Now, mind you, I didn't get the time yet.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know what time it was going to get.
Guilty.
I just knew I was guilty.
Right. And you get another date to be sentenced.
To sentence.
Right.
On a sentencing date, when I blew trial, I went back to the island, and I kind of like was on my to myself bullshit. When I got sentenced, and they could have gave me anywhere from between a flat 5 and a flat 15, and they gave me the 15, the top, for an attempt murder. That day, I told myself, when I go in here, if they go anything over 7 years, I'm going stupid ridiculous in this fucking courtroom. It is what it is.